And welcome back to our Sunday Square Off debate with the Republican candidates for Secretary of State. Candidates, history tells us that if elected, you could start your four-year term as Secretary of State and end it as governor. I mentioned earlier, each of the last 4 decades, the Secretary of State has risen to the governor's office. We're overdue this decade, the 2010, so just to let you know that. Steve Gaynor, give voters your 3-point agenda as governor.
Improve education, excellence in education, fiscal responsibility to protect the taxpayer, and public safety, both at the border and in our communities.
Improving education, do you support the Invest in Ed initiative?
It's a terrible idea. It would damage the economy of the state and make us far less competitive against our neighboring states. Businesses would leave if that were implemented.
Michelle Reagan, your 3-point agenda as Governor Reagan.
My agenda would be very similar to Steve's, and that would be to focus on education, focus on the economy, and focus on security. I, too, do not support the Invest in Education Act just because, to me, it goes against everything that we stand for as Americans. Work hard, be rewarded. This is saying work hard, but not too hard, because if you make over this certain amount, you're going to pay heavily. So there's no question many of us want to fund education more, but I do not believe this is the way to do it.
So are you basically content with the governor's 20 by 2020 plan and see what happens by 2020?
There's always more that can be done. So, you know, I always tell Doug Ducey he doesn't need to hire a food taster anytime soon because I'm not interested in running up there and doing that job just yet.
So, but what would you do differently as governor? One thing.
You know what I would do is I would focus on getting the school districts to spend more in the classroom and less on administration.
One thing, certainly you've thought about it.
The one thing I would do would be to craft an education budgeting plan that doesn't have politics or re-election in mind at all, because if I became an accidental governor, I would not be seeking to run for governor again. So there's incredible opportunity in that.
So you're saying if you took over, say 1 year, 2 year, 3 years in, that would be it for you?
I don't have any designs to want to.
Is that a one-term pledge?
Governor, I would do a great job if I had to, but it's not something that I see in my future.
I know we're getting a little bit ahead of things, but
you had to ask.
I had to ask, and it's a reality in the state of Arizona.